Yeah, yeah.
Best scenario running back wise. I mean, McCaffrey, and this is kind of a tough one because I think the best scenario is that McCaffrey um, isn't 100% at the beginning,
Okay.
and that forces them to give Guerendo a real shot, and then Guerendo takes advantage of that shot, and they wind up being in a much more of a shared role. I think that to me is the good news if that could happen, because I think ultimately I think we've already seen this movie. I mean, if you feature CMC all year, you might get to the playoffs, and he might win the offensive reigning. He might be
Probably should
the
have been
win.
the
He may
MVP
win.
that year.
Yeah, he may win the MVP. He may win the offensive player of the year. But ultimately, what's it about at this point? I mean, the guy's already won the offensive player of the year. I think he'd like to win the Super Bowl. And to me, if you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to get to the Super Bowl, and then you got to get that guy fully rested in the Super Bowl, and then you have to use him in that game, and he's going to have to be huge and not fumble and be, kind of like a Saquon Barkley last year for the Eagles. I mean, to me, that's the scenario. It's like the best scenario is that, and this is why this thing's a little tricky. I mean, some people say the best scenario is CMC's the same guy he was a couple years ago. Okay, well, yeah, but then it's going to be the same thing, where it's going to be all CMC because he's better than everybody, all the other options. And then they're going to get to January, and he's not going to be quite CMC. And then they're going to get into Super Bowl Sunday, and it's going to be like, can you carry CMC to the finish line instead of him carrying you? Yeah. And I think if they're going to get this thing done, he has to be the lead dog on Super Bowl Sunday, the way he was the lead dog for Stanford against Iowa in the Rose Bowl that one year, where if you can get into a big, big game and you can get a fresh CMC, you got a great chance to win that game at any level. So my ideal dream scenario is actually one that cracks the door open for Guerendo, allows him to get a few weeks to establish himself, and then it's a shared deal between at least the two of them and maybe some of the other guys as well. That's kind of what I'm rooting for. I'm not rooting for 400 touches for CMC. I'm rooting for a more of a 50-50 split where Guerendo is clearly next, but where CMC is really okay with it because he sees the vision of the combo monster back that leads them to the Super Bowl.
I'm not sure a 50-50 split is ideal. Obviously, that'd be great for Guerendo, and
Guerendo would have to be damn good to get that.
That's right, and I just don't see I don't feel his feel for the running back position just as of yet. Now, he is clearly a specimen, and it might not matter if he knows what he's doing as a running back because he's just that fast and that big. So my best case scenario is a little different. I'm with you in that it does not involve Christian McCaffrey going full offensive player of the year again. Mine involves Jordan James, though, to where Jordan James takes the role that, frankly, Jordan Mason should have had with Christian McCaffrey in that MVP caliber year, which is I'm going to handle some of the between the tackles stuff here. Might be a little bit predictable, but I'm going to handle some between the tackle stuff, some goal line stuff. I'm going to be your power back on this team. And I'm going to spell you for a series every now and again when we just want to run the damn ball. We don't need versatility. We just want to run the damn ball. And Jordan James gets 15, 20% of snaps at running back, 15, 20% of the carries. Christian McCaffrey is still the workhorse, still the man, still the chess piece that no one knows how to play with. But then you use Guerendo as, and this is not fair to Guerendo, but as the outlet for Kyle Shanahan's creativity that was so funneled to Deebo Samuel for so long. Now you have a weapon that nobody else should know what to do with in Isaac Guerendo. And I include maybe the 49ers in not knowing what to do with it. Because is he really a running back, or is he a slot receiver, or is he even an H-back? He's kind of all of this stuff. And he's just somebody that you want to put the ball in the hands of with space to run straight ahead as fast as he can. Find ways to utilize him. If he does nothing but catch swing passes all year, he's scoring 5 times. Like, he is that special of an athlete when we talk about size and speed. So I want to see him almost have a separate role of running back. I want him to be almost exclusively a gadget player who's always on the field, sometimes with McCaffrey, sometimes with James, sometimes with Juszczyk, sometimes with, like, I want him on the field just creating chaos for the opposing defense because they don't know what to do with him, and sort of be an inverse Debo to where, or maybe more of a Devon Achane from the Dolphins, where they made him the slot receiver last year. He is just somebody who is out there as an agent of chaos, somebody that Kyle Shanahan thinks of interesting ways to get touches, whereas McCaffrey can just do the McCaffrey thing, right? He's exceptional. He's great. You don't have to think of really creative ways to get Christian McCaffrey the ball. He's kind of a traditional player who can just do everything. And then Jordan James takes on almost like a hybrid Elijah Mitchell, JP Mason role, where he's just going to be the juggernaut back, the battering ram of a back. And of course, in this all, health is vitally important because after them, yes, you can feel okay about Corey Kiner or Israel Abanikanda, but frankly, they're going to keep 4, 5, including Juszczyk, and the 4th one is going to be Patrick Taylor. And Patrick Taylor is there strictly for special teams because I don't know what the hell he does for you as an actual from scrimmage running back. He's there as a white flag of sorts. If he's playing as an actual running back, something has gone horribly wrong, and you should probably be watching a different channel. But he's going to be on because he's awesome on special teams. So the best case
Kev,
scenario,
by the way, Kev said turn up your mic a little bit.
Okay, I'd be happy to, Kev. Thank you.
Yeah.
Regardless, while I get to that, Patrick Taylor is going to make this team. He's the 4th running back, and in that, you need health from McCaffrey, Guerendo, and James. So I think utilizing all 3 of them early to maybe divvy up some of that load. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's maybe the way I would handle it so that you don't have it all on McCaffrey. You're not then asking Guerendo to take on maybe more than he can handle at this juncture, and you get James involved too. So it's very similar to what you were saying, but I think Guerendo is almost used as a separate entity. He's almost not a running back. He's like a different position, and you're working with McCaffrey and James, and you're praying that Patrick Taylor never has to see the field.
I'll make a prediction. I don't think Patrick Taylor makes this team this year. I think the other guys will outplay him in the preseason. He did play well, I thought, last year, and I thought he showed good hands. He catches the ball well.
Yeah.
But I think he is the guy that will get through the waivers, where other guys won't get through waivers. Most likely, we'll see. We'll see if Jordan James or Corey Kiner, Izzy, or any of these guys flash in the preseason, because these other guys are going to have to flash in the preseason, or at least Kiner and Abanikanda are going to have to flash to get plucked away. I like Taylor, but I'm not sure what to expect here. I'll say this about the running backs. How Shanahan utilizes his running backs will determine if they win this year, I think, because, the bottom line on this thing is that you can't run McCaffrey. You can't just be super, super stubborn and be like, well, McCaffrey's my best back, so I'm just going to run McCaffrey, because you're not going to get to the finish line.
Right.
When you win games, and they're going to win games this year, they play some really bad teams. They're going to have games where they're putting the game away for most of the last quarter and a half, and they're going to have to put it away with somebody that's not named Christian McCaffrey. Yes. And if they put it away with Christian McCaffrey all year, that's fine, but they won't be there. He won't be there at the end. Yeah. So, and then they won't win at the end unless these other guys are really great. So, if all these backs are awesome, if you get to camp and Guerendo's awesome, Jordan James is awesome. By the way, you know how many people are going to call him James Jordan this year?
Oh, so many, including me.
Tons. But Jordan James, if he's awesome, if Corey Kiner's awesome, if Abanikanda, if all these guys look great, then what they can do whatever the heck they want. But if McCaffrey really is, super special, I think you got to have I mean, and we know he is if he's healthy. You
course.
got to have the finisher. You got to have the Elijah Mitchell. You can't finish with McCaffrey. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I'm really not sure because Guerendo is so big and so fast, so scary as far as his potential that there is no limits for him. And Jordan James, I thought, had one run the other day where I was like, "Whoo, he looked pretty good, pretty good." And I know he didn't run great stopwatch 40 time, but he looked pretty quick there.
Yep.
Kiner looks slower to me, but Kiner also has this incredible heart. So I think it's going to be incredible watching. I love the depth in the backfield this year. I like Abanaconda. I'm on record as saying that. So I like these guys, and I think the running backs look good.